A while back, I got the company command box. A, because I had a kit bash in mind and just needed some legs, and B, the company command box had a lot of good bits, so it would help in future conversions. So after making a couple things, I'm now left with one pair of legs left, and so I decided with the also included Apothecary bits, I'd make an Apothecary. Hunched over another Space Marine, he's healing. Now, for those of you paying attention, I'm a Blood Angels player, so why don't I make a Sanguinary Priest? Because I don't have any cups or jump packs, so what point is there really? I'm definitely going to make one in the future though. Normally I'd have to start with increasing the length of the legs, but with them being bent like this, I don't really have to. But we should still do the torso. It's more noticeable this time around. Starting with cutting off the belt of the torso. Oh no! Don't worry, I found it. After gluing both the belts to his legs, I hot glued his torso to his legs and stretched it out to make it a bit more true scale, also making sure he's hunched over. Because the next step is to add this messed up torso I had in my bits box for some reason. Putting dead guys on bases is always a good way to get rid of those messed up bits you have for some reason. Then I added his Narthecium, holding it over his fallen brother, either to keep him going a little bit longer or to give him the Emperor's Peace. I also put a helmet next to this guy's head. I was going to go for a more ornate look, but then I realized I didn't want to part with any of my cool helmets. So I gave him a still pretty cool helmet, just not one of my best. So I'm a big fan of adhering to WYSIWYG in interesting ways. So I thought it would be cool to have the guy on the floor be the one with the pistol. I mean, granted, no one would be upset if there's no pistol on your Apothecary, but it's the thought that counts. I didn't have any good holding gun out with one arms in my bits box, so I took a arm in holding bolter arm and turned it around. After gluing his shoulder pads and his pistol, I put some green stuff in his back, and this time waited for a bit till it hardened a bit, then cut some lines into it, and I don't know. Does it look better? Let's ask that again after it's painted. Then I just kinda added all the other stuff on, like his backpack and chainsword, a helmet from the Devastator's box. I also thought it'd be cool if he had a Deathwatch arm. Green stuff! I should have done this way before, but I cut the skull off of his Imperialis and added a bit of green stuff that I would cut into a shape that reminds me of a shrine or something. Then I poked a blood drop into it, or, well, I tried. And that's really all I wanted to do with the green stuff. I have a bunch left over. I guess I could put a blood drop on his helmet. Oh, I also wanted to have the guy's guts and stuff hanging out. Good thing I remembered that before priming. I put some green stuff down and just messed with it for a bit so that it would look like meat goo. Then I rolled some intestines up and stuck them on there. You know, this may be the first time I made something with green stuff and it turned out exactly how I thought it would. Not even necessarily good, just exactly how I thought it would look. Then after I primed him white, I painted him white again, because when painting something entirely white, I prefer Corax white, but for a smaller detail I use matte white instead, a rare exception to my normally all Citadel paints. Then I did the guy on the floor, not being careful with the contrast, because he's on the floor, it makes sense that he's a bit Then I did his helmet gold because he's a veteran. Next I did his skin, then his guts with blood for the blood god, his blonde hair, a wash with Reikland flesh shade, and then Apothecary white on the Apothecary. Fun. I think you're supposed to just use this in the recesses or whatever, but he has white armor on a battlefield. It's a bit dirty. Then I did all the metal details, then his left shoulder pad and sword with contrast red. Then I thinned it down with contrast medium for the blood vials and his eye and stuff. Then I got some contrast black for the veteran's pistol, similarly thinning it down for the Apothecary's Aquila, his waist and leg joints. Then I gave all the metal a wash. Oh, forgot the Blood Angels icon. Okay, now I did all the gold, then blue for all the tubes and vial, but I didn't do red. Going back to the gold, I did a wash of Reichland Flesh Shade, then layered on a brighter gold on top of that. Next, I added Spirit Stone Red to the blood drop on his sword. Then I layered a brighter red on all the other red things we did. Then I added some gold to this thing I added when you weren't looking. I don't know why I waited for so long, because Crux Terminalis metal, but really at this point we're just doing all the smaller details now, like the light, some blood on his face, metal on the helmet, the skull on his shoulder with Rune Lord brass, because gold would be too distracting, some decals on the sword. Then I did this yellow band with a gem or something. Sometimes you have to just do as Rogue Trader did and add things for no real reason, but I did consider making it small chevrons instead, but that would be hard.